Hey there, guys. Today we are going to be doing just a kind of apartment renovation. I've always wanted to do a complete, like, renovation and rebuild of all of the different worlds in The Sims. And so I picked this one to start with. And so right now we're just showing a few before photos of what it looked like before. And I actually really like this apartment as a before. Some of them I don't really like. So this one was a really tough one to kind of get in and gut out. But I had based it on, I based what I was going to do on a photo I have from a design game of a yellow based kitchen. Like it has yellows and blacks, whites, and like a brick wall. It looks a little like a cafe. And so I was like, that's what I kind of want to base this on to start with. So this window in this apartment was the best fit for what I wanted to do and kind of like the best angle. So that's why I picked this one. And I made a little family to go with it. And they're the Morrises. There's Jonathan and Diana with their two cats, Juniper and Patches. And so now I'm just kind of like getting rid of everything and trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with the apartment. I knew that this wall here, you're going to see it in a second, was where I wanted the kitchen. And so this is me building off of the picture. Um, this is all I had, just one angle of this photo to go off of. And right now I was looking for these countertops in the photo where actually it was white cabinets with a black top. And so I was trying to find something similar, but that was the closest I could get. So I put that with the yellow. And then the table and chairs, later on, I take it out and do something different because it didn't really fit with the house. The columns, there was some columns in the photo, but they didn't really fit. And then I didn't really know where to put the stove. So I was kind of trying to figure out where it could go. And this just was not working. Or the refrigerator. There wasn't either of those in the picture, just this kind of countertop, the yellow counters, the bar, and the little table. So I just kind of popped these in and popped some yellow chairs in and went from there. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out what else to do with the apartment. Like, where should I put the different walls? What should I do? And so I thought I'd make kind of like a little living space in this because it was really big. I was trying to make more of a closed concept build. I really wanted to focus on a lot of walls. I am very open concept when I make things. And so because I was doing a challenge, I really wanted to kind of enclose everything and have like separate rooms for everything, but this one room was kind of really big. So I just added like the fireplace in there and the little chairs, and there is a living room. It's not very big, but so it kind of gives a little extra living space. This is me just trying to figure out, I wanted two bedrooms for them to be able to have children in the future. I have and have a study music room at the same time because he is a music lover and she is wants a lot of knowledge. I can't think of the exact aspiration trait at the moment, but it has to do with the knowledge. And so I wanted them to have a very separate study. And this is when I kind of decided to add the dining room table in. I thought that was a little better fit and got rid of the little table. And then I'm just trying to figure out like doors and how this should all set up. And I was trying to keep the bedrooms equal and give them each a little bit of a window. Because I personally am very window orientated. When I want a bedroom, I want a window in my bedroom. And so I was just kind of fooling around with them and I was like, "Oh, what if I do it like this, change this?" And so the walls in this changed multiple times. And so I was trying to fit like the yellow wardrobe in there and it just was not what I wanted. I do use yellow heavily in this build because I thought it was a really nice accent color. And so with the yellow, it's kind of a yellow, black, and white palette with, um, as you'll see later, there is a lot of brick walls as like accent walls. And I do put some yellow accent walls in. And at first I didn't think it was going to work, and I absolutely ended up loving the result. So about here, I think it was somewhere in this area, I got frustrated with the build. I think it was when I got some of the bedroom furniture in. I got really frustrated with it. Like the yellow wasn't working at this point, and I just did not know what to do. And like I'm struggling with these curtains here. Like I didn't want something long and I didn't want something like heavy, but nothing was really working. So I was struggling. But yeah, I think it might have been here. I kind of just got frustrated and I was looking up photos of yellow based houses. I was trying to spark some ideas because I was just getting frustrated. I have never done something this. I mean, I can't really say I haven't done something this color oriented before because I kind of have, but I'm a very blue person, so blue just resonates with me. So anytime I do color schemes, I have to be very careful that I don't start adding a lot of blue into it. So I kind of have done a lot with blue in the past, and I realized at this point that I had no lighting whatsoever in this build. And I was like, oh, what do I do for lighting? And I loved the way this light looked in the bathroom, but then I changed it because it just was not getting enough light in it. And then still fooling around with everything, trying to find the best couch, trying to find the like pretty much everything. I was hoping to maybe get one of the corner seats in there. And then I put that sofa there, and then I put that one there, and I was like, "Oh, this kind of is awkward. Well, what if I move the door over and make this like an enclosed room? This adds more to the enclosed areas that I was talking about." And it worked perfectly. It's a very, very small living area, but they also do have such this big dining room and the little chairs out by the fireplace that even though it's a small living area, they still have plenty of communal areas in this build. So there's the kind of study music room going in. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. Anyway, it was here I got frustrated. Like I had gotten everything in, and I was still trying to figure out the furniture, what I should add, and I cut out. I was gone for like 30 minutes, just pacing, stressing. I was like, you know what, just throw things in, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And so then I started doing the wallpaper because I realized I had nothing. And I'm looking back at the photo trying to match the brick. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I got the brick to work, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. It looks so great in this kitchen. And then I kept that wallpaper in the bathroom. And I was like, wait, what if I do brick in some of the other areas of the house? Absolutely loved it. The accents look great. And then that's when I decided I wanted to try the yellow as well. And so I just started playing with all kinds of wallpaper, just going nuts and changing the doors to black and um, just kind of like making sure everything followed the theme. I had early on changed all the floors to the same, like every floor in the house is the same hardwood. And I couldn't figure out what to put over this fireplace, and I thought the birds looked good, but I changed it later. I was trying to find all of the chalkboard, and in the picture there's like a yellow plaque there or something, and I didn't really know what to put, but the hanging plants looked really good. And at this point I'm like trying to figure out the wall space. Like what do I put in these walls? And then I hit these I can't think of what they're called. I want to call them stilts, so this is what we're calling. And it almost matched the photo where they have like bars in the wall essentially. I had mentioned they had like columns on the corners, but they also had like these weird bars, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And then I was trying to find the plan I was looking for, and I clearly found it. So then I was like, ooh, what else is here that I could maybe pop in this build? But so I did get those bars in, and then this one section of wall to the right, I struggled. You'll see my struggle here in a minute. I was at the point I was like in tears trying to figure out what to do. I know sometimes less is more, and so I was trying to follow that, but it was just not working. Like I needed something there. Something had to go there, even if it was little, and that had to work. And I just could not figure it out. This point was frustrating me as well because for some reason every time I would try and raise objects, the camera would whip, and you can kind of get it a little bit in this of how it's whipping, and right there it kind of went off. So I was like, oh, maybe it's the game camera, and I changed it a couple times, and it wasn't it, but the game was being glitchy a little bit here and there, so I think maybe it was just glitching on me because I've never had that happen before when I'm trying to raise things. So I kind of was just trying to pair them up with um what I thought was the right height and go from there. And then I loved putting these beads up. I thought it made a really kind of cool effect, and they can walk through the doorway. They walk through fine. I made sure of that. And then I hung up all these little lights. I absolutely love these kind of fairy lights in um like my own house. We have a blue set in our living room right now, and I have a multitude of white sets. And there's where I changed that. I thought it went perfect over that fireplace. And so I'm still kind of trying to figure out what to go there, but like I haven't really attempted much, and now this is where I'm attempting absolutely everything that I think might fit with my theme and fit there. And clearly like nothing is working. I did like those slats, but I thought with ooh, I hit my mic, I'm sorry. I thought with the stilts, because I still can't figure out what they're called. It was just too much on that wall, and so I kind of bye. It's weird trying to explain my process with some of this because I'm like, wait, what was I thinking? Like some things I remember, I don't even know why I tried those lights. It just looked absolutely terrible. I like putting those in like saunas or like mood room kind of things. And I was just kind of like playing around with everything, just trying to find it. And then I settled on this wood because I was like, yeah, it works enough. And so here come the rugs. For some reason, I like putting all the furniture in and then decorating after. I don't know why. Sometimes I will decorate as I go, but a lot of times it's afterwards. So I was just going through finding rugs at this point, putting some rugs, putting up some artwork. I absolutely loved this little five some there. I don't know. I loved that painting that went up on that wall. I actually remove it and put it in another room because I end up adding a cat condo because halfway through I forgot that I had cats. I don't know why, because they're in the house as I'm building this, but it blew my mind. And so I had to add in a food dish and some stuff. And I was like, I don't even know why it didn't register when I moved the litter box that I had cats. Like, just completely gone. And so at this point, I'm trying to make sure like they can get to one of the mirrors because I don't know if they can use it over the plant, but I wanted to be sure they could reach one, and just trying to add a little bit of artwork to the walls. A lot of the walls have just like a little bit here and there, and they look pretty good without it. But if you just have blank walls, it gets very, very bland. So even just a little bit on the wall helps a ton. So at this point, I really didn't want to deal with move objects cheat, so I kind of just slapped a few things on there and said that was good. I didn't want to try and move things around, and I thought it kind of worked for the simplicity as well, because it is very simple household, even though it does have all this yellow. I was like, okay, something has to go right there. You can see the cat in the middle of the floor. And I'm like, something needs to be near this mirror. Something needs to be. And so I put that plant there. I thought it looked pretty good. And I put a plant in the corner. I absolutely love plants for decor. Plants as decor, like, just make it because they add that pop of green and pop of life into the build. And so I have plants, I think, two in this hallway right here. Oh, that's when I found the cat condo. I was like, oh no, I need to add the cats. And then I was trying to make sure it fit and looked good in this room. Because this was really the only room that it really fit in. And it's kind of a quiet room anyway. So I was like, yeah, I'll pop it in there. And so you could see I removed a couple of the plants and that big photo. I was kind of sad because I really liked that photo. It looked really nice. I'm like, oh, whatever, it happens. And at this point, I realized I didn't have a bookshelf. And for the Diana, who likes knowledge, she kind of needs a bookshelf. I was like, oh no. I absolutely love those like fruit posters. And this is where I think I put up that painting again. I was like, oh yeah, I can use it in this build. Oh my god. I just had a blast. So I'm finishing up now. Um, so I think it's going to get ready to start kind of the final version. So I will just let you enjoy the rest of the build and enjoy that. Thanks for watching. Bye.